Hello, good morning. Welcome to the 14-day practical AI challenge where you stop guessing and you start prompting. I'm your host, Engineer Victory, and today is day 9 of the challenge. We're going to be considering something quite interesting today. Stick around, let's get right into it. Today we are looking at improving your prompts with AI. So basically, from day 1 to day 8, we've been looking at how to use different frameworks to improve our prompts, right? And we've looked at various um, exercises, various tasks which we would want AI to accomplish for us. And based on those tasks, we've used various frameworks to improve the prompts which we use to get AI to better serve us or to better produce a result that is most appropriate and most suitable to our use case, right? So today we want to look at how we can provide a rough prompt. If you're someone who you're out there, you may not have had time to sit down from the first class right up to the eighth class, and you want to write a prompt, right? How can you use AI to improve that prompt? Many people don't know that that's actually possible. AI can do a lot of things, and improving your prompt is one of them, right? So let's go get right into it, right? So our theme for today is the word description. Description. Being able to describe, being able to fully paint the picture which you want to paint, right? For the AI agent to be able to better serve you. Now we're going to look at why prompts fail. So most prompts out there, most prompts that people use on a daily, they fail because when I say they fail, I mean why they are not as effective as they should be, or why they are not getting you the results you would like to get, right? So let's look at why most prompts do that. We see number one, vague instructions. Some people in their prompting, their instructions are not clear. Some people give conflicting instructions. In line one of your prompt, you said list, then in line two, you come and said draw a table, then in line three, you come and said make an image. If your instructions are vague or they overlap and they cancel each other out, you would not get the best result. The results would also be bad and the results will not be proper. Let's look at the next line, missing content. When in your prompting you do not provide the most appropriate the most appropriate context, for your art story, the prompt will not be able to achieve its goal. Remember, all throughout the first 8 days, we've been looking at context. We've been looking at context. That's something which we've always had to paint, or something which we've always had to include, so the AI understands what we want. Then we have unclear expectations from the AI. You need to be clear, and you need to make the AI understand what you want it to do. The instructions and the expectations need to be so clear that the AI can distinctly say, you know, you want me to draw, you want me to list, you want me to improve, you want me to create, you want me to generate, you want me to do X, Y, Z in this kinds of fashion with these constraints, right? Your expectations should be distinct and clear. We have the next point is no constraints. Any person who prompts AI without constraints is looking for a disaster. You're looking for a disaster because no constraints means poor results. Our next point to consider is treating AI like Google. A lot of people do this, and it's quite wrong. AI is not Google. Of course, it was trained using vast amount of information, but AI is not Google. On Google, you can just go and type list 10 biggest companies in the world. It's gonna list it. But if you take that same question and you write it into an AI agent, of course you're going to get the listing, but the list is not going to be specified to you, right? So an AI agent is not a search engine. It does not operate as a search engine. And even if you want to use it to improve your search, there are things which you have to consider, that your search is going to return the most useful information for you, right? Then we have unclear expectations. We've already looked at that. Then we have generic wording. You have to be specific. Avoid using generic wording when you are prompting AI. Don't use generic wording. Be specific. Go straight to the point, right? AI should be able to distinctly say, this is what the user wants me to do, right? This is what the user expects of me. AI does not read your mind. And one thing is, AI cannot assume. We have intuition. AI does not have intuition. AI has information. It has zeros and ones. Zeros and ones is the building block of AI, right? AI cannot assume. It's not an intuitive agent, right? So it cannot assume. It can only use the information it has to fill in the gap. And if the information it has is not the right information for that use case, it will fill in the gaps and provide you a wrong output, an output which is not what you're looking for. And at the end of the day, your prompt has failed, right? And then we are having undefined success criteria. By which, what are you looking for actually, right? What are you looking for actually? Which thing would need to be done for AI to know that it has achieved its goal of the goal of the prompt which you wrote, right? So which score basically needs to be attained, or what is the output you're looking for? So when you don't have any success criteria in your prompt, your prompt is it's not gonna get you where you want it to get you. And then the last thing is not correcting AI. Now this one is for prompting. It's not just your first prompt, not correcting AI. For example, you told AI to do XYZ, it did not understand, right? And you looked at its response, you saw that its response was not the best, and you did not correct it. You just went on ahead. In that way, you are not going to get the best results. Right? AI is there to serve you, but it's there to also learn. Right? It can learn. So, for example, maybe you're trying to say something which it did not get, it did not understand. Explain what you mean, right? Be as explicit as you can. The more you explain yourself, the more you simplify what you mean, the more AI understands and the more AI can help you, right? Let's look at the prompting framework. So our framework for today is a prompt framework, right? We have P for purpose, R for role, O for objective, M for modifiers, P for process, T for tone, and format, right? So what does P? Let's look at an example of P. Purpose. What outcome do you want? What are you trying to achieve with this prompt? Are you trying to achieve a list of things? Are you trying to achieve a document? Are you trying to achieve an improvement of something which you want? What exactly do you want? What's the purpose of the prompt? Role. Who should AI act as? We've talked about personas and why they're important. AI needs to use personas in most cases to be able to better serve you, right? So you need to be able to define what role AI needs to play in order to be able to better serve you, in order to be able to better answer your prompt, and give you the most suitable response. The next thing is objective. What exactly should the AI produce? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? What exactly should the AI produce? What is the objective of the prompt, right? We have M, modifiers. Modifiers are the constraints, the rules, and the preferences. What are the constraints AI should consider? What are the rules and the preferences you like? For example, you're prompting AI to give you a list of things, maybe a list of meals, for you to prepare. You need to be able to state your preference, state the kind of cuisine you like, state your constraints, right? We have process. How should AI think or work? What is the thinking process you want AI to follow? Of course, the persona really, really defines it, but another way you can go deeply into this is by the thinking process. What thinking process would you want the AI to use, right? We have tone and format. How should the output look and feel? So what are you looking for in the output, and in what tone should it come? This comes especially for messaging and for basically for almost every output you get, right? You can make it to be formal, you can make it to be informal, you can make it to be professional, you can make it to be laid back, you can make it to basically whatever style you would like it to be, but you need to include that style in your prompt, in your instruction, right? Let's look at the good prompt. Let's look at the good prompt, right? This one, I would say, I would kind of be very, very lenient on this one, right? But one thing which I'm going to definitely employ in improving a prompt is the purpose, the prompting framework or the prompt framework. And we are going to look at that basically. So, but let's look at this example. It says, act as a prompt engineer, analyze the prompt below, explain why it is weak, and then rewrite it so it produces a clearer and more practical result. Give the explanation simple and give the final prompt separately. Now, this is great. It's very, very great. I like this because number one, the AI agent is asked to not only improve the prompt, but it is also asked to keep the results simple, and then it asks to explain the reasoning for its response. So, for example, why did you do it like this? Why did you change this wording? Why did you add this particular part? Why did you not do it this way? That way you can learn. And I've said it before that one thing which you should strive to do is not just get answers from the AI agent. Please do not treat the AI agent as though you are treating Google. You go to Wikipedia to just go and gather information, right? You go to Google most of the time to just go and gather information. We do not necessarily go to these things to go and learn, right? But when it comes to the AI agents, treat it as a learning tool, right? So when it is producing a response, ask it why it gave you that response. It should explain the reasoning behind that response. That way you can get to understand how to do it yourself later if the AI is not there, right? Or if the AI is not as capable, you should be able to do it yourself later. That way you are not just a user of AI, but you understand how it works, right? Let's look at the bad prompt. It says, make this prompt better. Make this prompt better is a bad prompt, but it can still be used, right? But it's not the best prompt in our use case. So why is it bad? There's no context about the prompt, what it is for, no explanation of what better means, no format requested. AI has to guess the goal and the audience, right? So basically that's it. Let's look at this other example here. It says, I want to improve my prompting skills. Explain what information is missing from the prompts below. Then rewrite it using clear context constraints, and output format. Use bullet points and keep it practical. Why it works: clear learning goals, step-by-step process, constraint only style and format, right? Encourages thinking and not guessing. So this is a very good prompt. But not everybody can get a prompt like this. Hmm? So we're going to look at how we can get that. Then we have a bad prompt. We write this prompt so it works perfectly. Why it is bad: perfect is undefined, no rule given to the AI, no constraint or expectation, no learning elements for the user. With what we are going to learn today, you should be able to kickstart your own learning journey with AI, right? You should be able to kickstart it. Remember, our theme for the day is description. Describe what you want as best as you can, right? Just look at the AI mindset. AI is literal, not intuitive. Basically, if there are two eggs in front of you, AI is going to tell you two eggs, right? If there are three eggs in front of you, AI is going to tell you three eggs. AI is not going to assume that those are not eggs, or it's not going to assume XYZ. If you want it to give you a response, you must provide the information. AI is not an intuitive agent. It does not assume and tell you, okay, if there are three eggs in front of you, you must be hungry, you want to cook. AI doesn't do that. provide the information to get the kind of result you want, right? So we are going to move to our live prompt walkthrough. But before we do that, I would like us to one more time go through our prompting framework. We have the prompt framework. We have purpose, we have role, we have objective, we have modifiers, we have process, we have tone and format, right? That's one more. Let's go it again one more time. Purpose, role, objective, modifiers, process, tone and format. All right, so let's move on to ChatGPT, and then let's see how we can improve our prompting with AI. So I want to write a prompt. I'm a businesswoman, for example. Let's say I'm a farmer, for example, and I want to improve my farming process, right? I'm just going to write a generic prompt. Help me improve my farming process. Now, that's the prompt. I'm going to put that in quotes, in quotation marks, right? Help me improve my farming process. Now, this is a bad prompt. It's not a good prompt. But now I'm going to prompt AI and ask it to improve this prompt for me using the prompt framework. All right. Using the prompt framework, please help me improve this prompt above. First stop. Right? P, what is P for? P is for purpose. Then R is for role. Then O is for objective. Then we have M is for modifiers. And then we have P. What is P for in our prompt? Let's look at it. We have P in our prompt is for process, and then T for tone and format, right? So let's look at this. Let's write this P for process, and then T for tone and format. Now let's just look at this. Help me improve my farming process. That is the prompt, right? Now it says using the prompt framework, please help me improve this prompt above. And then we define the prompting framework, right? We have P, purpose, R, role, O, object, M, modifiers, P, process, T, tone and format. Let's see what we get. It's nice. You're essentially turning a vague request into an expert level instruction. Here is your original prompt upgraded using the prompt framework. It says help me optimize and modernize my farming operation to increase yield, reduce waste, and improve efficiency. Act as an experienced agricultural consultant specializing in sustainable and high efficiency farming systems. Provide practical step-by-step recommendations to improve my farming process, including soil management, crop planning, irrigation, pest control, and productivity tracking. Modifiers: assume a small to medium scale farm with limited budgets. Focus on affordable, sustainable, and scalable solutions. Include examples that work in developing regions. Process: assess current farming challenges, improve efficiencies, suggest improvements, provide action steps, recommended simple tools or techniques, outline expected benefits, and then we have tone and format. We have clear, practical, beginner friendly. Use bullet points and short section. Avoid overlaying technical language. avoid overly technical language. Then let's see the final prompt. It says, act as an experienced agricultural consultant specializing in sustainable farming. Help me optimize and modernize my farming operation to increase yield, reduce waste, improve efficiency. I assume I run a small to medium scale farm with a limited budget. Provide step-by-step recommendation for soil management, crop planning, irrigation, pest control, and productivity tracking. First, assess common challenges, identify inefficiencies, and then suggest practical improvements. Focus on affordable and scalable solutions suitable for developing regions. Present the advice in clear bullet points using beginner-friendly language. Now, this is a very great prompt. It's a very great prompt, right? And then look at what we are having. It says, if you want, I can generate a version for crop farming, for livestock farming, a version for urban smart farming, a version to Africa or to Turkey, a version optimized for AI, farming, automations, a short ChatGPT friendly version, a professional consultant style version. So basically, what we have here is already very, very great. But to take this one notch higher, right, we can specify the location and the kind of farming that is being done. So for example, let's say um turn the prompt into a version suitable for livestock and small scale vegetable farming in a developing region in, say, Rwanda, for example, right? Let's send that, and then we're going to see what it comes up with. It says, now act as an experienced agricultural consultant specializing in livestock and small-scale vegetable farming in developing regions. Help me improve my farming system to increase food productivity, animal health, and farm income while keeping costs low. Assume I operate a small farm in Rwanda with limited access to advanced equipment and a tight budget. Provide step-by-step practical recommendations for animal care, feeding systems, disease prevention, soil improvement, vegetable crop planning, irrigation, and development regions, and developing regions. Then suggest affordable and sustainable improvements. Focus on methods that use locally available resources and are easy to implement. Present the advice in a simple language with clear bullet points and short sections suitable for a farmer or a beginner farmer. So that's the prompt. Now I'm just going to show you how powerful this prompt is by contrasting this prompt with the first prompt which we had. Remember, the first prompt we had was this. What did it say? It says, help me improve my farming process. That was all, right? I'm going to utilize the both of them, and then we are going to see how they fare, right? So I'm going to start with this one firstly. Help me improve my farming process. We are going to copy that. We are going to come here. We're just going to start a new chat afresh, and then let's write that. It says, help me improve my farming process. Let's see what we are going to get from ChatGPT. It says, sure, I would love to help you, but farming is broad. Let's narrow it down so I can give you full useful advice. What kind of farming are you doing? Crop farming, poultry, livestock, greenhouse, small backyard farm with commercial scale. So it basically provides you lots of questions for you to answer. But let's copy our last prompt here, and then we are going to come here and then start a new prompt also, a new chat also rather, and then we are just going to paste this inside here, and then we're going to look at it. What are we going to get from here? Now this is our prompt. Let's see what we are going to get. So it's already giving us information which is relevant. It says, great, I'll treat this like we're walking through your farm together, building a smarter low-cost system step by step. I'll start with common problems small farmers face, then show you how to fix them using simple affordable methods that connect livestock and crops into one cycle. Common challenges for small farmers. Most small farmers in developing regions struggle with low soil fertility, poor crop yields, expensive animal feed, animal disease and weak animals, lack of reliable water for crops, wasted manure and crop residue, poor planning, food shortages during dry season, limited cash for fertilizers and medicine, land use inefficiency. So it first identifies the common problems and challenges for small-scale farmers. Then it looks at animal care. It looks at low-cost feeding strategies. It looks at disease prevention cheaper than treatment. Basically, this output is already very, very great. You can now just look at, for example, whatever thing you want here, maybe to get more information from this, and then you ask it to do so. This is already a very, very great response, right? And maybe you can use this if you are a farmer, and that's your use case. You can just use this and go right deep down into it. Now, I'm going to ask you to do something else. Let's say let's say we've never used the case of the case of a teacher. Let's say I'm a teacher trying to prepare a lesson, right? And then I just want to get a draft lesson. Let's say I'm a teacher in at the university level, and then I want to prepare a draft lesson for a particular topic in economics, for example. And let's say that topic is supply and demand, right? Now, I'm going to put it like this. So I'm going to start with my prompt again. I'm going to say, put my prompt in inverted commas. I'm going to say, generate a draft lesson for the topic demand and supply for students at a university, right? For students at a university, generate a draft lesson for the topic demand and supply. Let me say for the base, demand and supply for students at a university. Let me just end it there. Then I'm going to come down. I'm going to say, using the prompt framework, please improve this prompt for me, right? Let's see what we are going to get. So it says, generate a draft lesson for the topic demand and supply for students at the university level. So we are going to see, using the prompt framework, improve this prompt for me. The reason why I can see using the prompt framework without defining it here is because ahead at the beginning I had already defined the prompt framework from the first prompt, so it's part of this chart, so I don't need to define it again. If this was a second chart, I would need to define it. If this was a new chart where I was starting afresh, I would need to define it from afresh, right? And define it afresh. Now let's see what we get here. It says, purpose: create a structured draft lesson that teaches university students the core concept of demand and supply. Role: act as an experienced university economics lecturer skilled in teaching foundational microeconomics. Objective: develop a clear lesson draft that explains demand and supply concepts, key law determinants, graph equilibriums, and real-world applications. Assume first-year students with basic economic knowledge. Include simple examples, real-life scenarios, brief mathematical intuitions without heavy technical jargon. Process: introduce key concepts, define demand and supply, explain determinants, illustrate with graph, discuss equilibriums, provide real-world examples, include short descriptions or short discussions, questions, add a recap, summary, tone, and format. And then we have final improve prompt: act as an experienced university economics lecturer, generate a structured lesson on demand and supply for first-year university students, explain the key concept, laws, determinants, graph, and market equilibrium using clear and accessible language. Include real-life examples, simple explanation of graph described in words, brief discussion questions. Organize the lesson with headings, bullet points, and short paragraph suitable for lecture notes. End with a concise summary recap. So this is a very great prompt in my opinion. Now let's try this and then let's see what we get. But definitely you could come here, look at the processes, you could copy the processes, right? And then you could come to the modifiers, right? The process is okay, but you can come to the modifiers and then you could maybe change a thing or two in the modifiers. Maybe for example in the modifiers you can say, instead of it being a first year student, you can say maybe it's a master's student in the first year. Maybe you can say this is not basic economics, this is deep level economics. Maybe looking at a bigger economy like the United States or the economy of the United States of America. Include simple examples, no. Use complex real life examples, brief mathematical intuitions without heavy technical jargon. So basically you can update this, as you want. You can just copy this, right? Let me show you how to do that. You can just copy this, just come here, copy this, and then come under here and then just say edit. This is a better modifier for my scenario. Then now you come down and then you just, now instead of assume first year, you say assume first year master's university student with a bachelor's level, with a bachelor's level economic knowledge. Include complex real life examples, real life scenarios. Let's say include complex real life examples using the real life examples using the US economy as a case study. For example, using the US economy as a case study, real life scenarios, detailed mathematical intuition, use heavy jargon when necessary, use heavy technical jargon where necessary, and then we end there. So basically you see this is a better modifier for my scenario. You improve this and then it's not going to use that information and give us a better, more suitable prompt for the use case, for your own personal use case, right? So we are going to wait a little bit and then see how it's going to turn out. Now this is our final prompt. It has used our modifier, right? Basically maintain the same thing. Let's see, it acts as a university economics professor teaching graduate microeconomics. It has changed the persona also. Before, the persona was act as an experienced university economics lecturer. That was all. But you will see, due to the fact that our modifier has changed, the persona has also changed. It was first of all lecturer, now we are seeing professor. Act as a university economics professor teaching graduate microeconomics. Generate an advanced draft lesson on demand and supply for first year master students with prior undergraduate economics training. Formally explain demand and supply theory, determinants, elasticity, and equilibrium using mathematical intuition and appropriate technical terminologies. Incorporate complex real-world examples using the US economy as a case study. Structure the lesson like a graduate lecture note with heading, equations, analytical explanations, discussion questions, and end with a synthesis that connects theory to real market behavior. Now we are going to compare these two prompts, look at the results we are going to get with these two prompts. Let's start with this one. We copy it, we come over here, and then we start a new we start a new chat with the AI. We paste this here, and then let's look at what we are going to get. Then we're going to copy our initial prompt, which is generate a draft lesson for topic demand and supply for university students, right? Let's see what we get from when we come here to do this. We started a new chat, paste our instruction, and then let's see. Now it has already started giving us, it says sure, here is a structured university level draft lesson you can adopt into slides, notes, or lecture script. It's balanced theory, intuition, and practical examples. We have lesson duration, lesson objectives, introduction 5 to 10 minutes, begin with a relatable scenario, explain that prices in the market are determined by the interaction of demand and supply. So we have demand, and then we have all this, and it's not very very long. We have supply, 15 minutes supply curve, market equilibrium, real world applications, class activity, summary, assessment, and that's all. Now let's look at what we have here. Now we have graduate macro economics lecture notes here. What was our title here? Here for this one, we have lesson title, demand and supply, lesson duration. Now let's see this. Graduate microeconomics lecture notes, topic demand, supply elasticity, and market equilibrium. This is already a better start. Foundation of demand theory, demand as a solution to maximum maximization. In microeconomic theory, individual demand is derived from constraint optimization problem. A representative consumer chooses a bundle X to maximize utility, and then this formula, somebody who is at level of masters, this would already be something he's familiar with. And then the various variables are defined. UX is a continuous strictly increasing quasi-concave utility function. P as an element of this particular function is a price vector. M is income. The solution yields the Martian demand function. For a single good I, the demand curve represents a locus of optimal consumption choices, conditional on prices and income. Key properties under standard assumptions: homogeneity of degree 0, Warrow's law, Slotsky decomposition connects substitution and income effect, law of demand and cooperative statistics, and so on and so forth. We see that this is more suitable for the use case, and it's something which a professor in the master's level can take and then can use as a draft, expand it and then work with the students, right? So this is already our results which we are getting here are very very great. And this is, if you want to add formal proofs, include diagrams translated into mathematical intuition, add problem set with solutions, extend to a general equilibrium. So this is really a great output, right? Now let's look at one more example for somebody who may just be prompting the AI agent for a daily thing which he wants to do. Maybe let's say he wants to cook better. Let's say someone who wants to lose weight, right? And he wants to generate a plan to lose weight with AI, right? I'm just gonna say, make me a meal plan and daily schedule to help me lose weight, right? Say my goal is to lose for example 25 kilograms and weigh 80 kilograms at the end of 3 months, for example. Then we are going to come on there. We say using the prompt framework. Improve this prompt above for me, right? Let's see what we are going to get as a response to this. Using the prompt framework, let's improve the prompt. So we have purpose: create a structured weight loss plan combining nutrition and daily routine to support significant fat loss in limited time frame. Role: acts as a certified nutrition coach and fitness planner, experience in safe, rapid weight loss programs. Objectives: design a practical meal plan and daily schedule that promotes consistent calorie deficient exercise, calorie deficit, exercise recovery, and sustainable habits to help me lose weight efficiently. Modifiers: assume I am overweight, motivated, and able to exercise 3 to 5 times per week. My goal is to lose 25 kilograms and reach 80 kilograms in 3 months. Prioritize safety, nutrient balance, realistic expectation, use affordable foods, simple meals, include alternative for busy days, avoid extreme cash dieting. Process: estimate calorie needs and target deficits, create a weekly meal structure, provide a daily meal example, add workout and activity schedule, include hydration and sleep guidance, suggest habit tracking methods, and a weekly adjustment tip. Tone and format: supportive, motivational, and practical. Use clear sections, bullet points, and a simple daily schedule layout. Final improve prompt: act as a certified nutrition coach and fitness planner. Create a safe and structured meal plan and daily schedule to help me lose weight efficiently. My goal is to lose 25 kilos and reach 80 kilos within 3 months. Assume I am motivated, overweight, and able to exercise 3 to 5 times per week. Estimate my calorie needs, design a realistic deficit, and provide affordable simple meal options. Include a weekly meal structure, daily examples, workout schedule, hydration guidance, sleep recommendation, and habit tracking tips. Prioritize safety, sustainability, and nutrient balance. Avoid extreme cash dieting. Present the plan in clear section with bullet points and a practical daily routine. Now, this is a very good prompt in my opinion for that particular use case. Let's see what we get when we prompt our chatbot with this. Now, we're just going to start with a new chat, right? And then we're going to come here and then we're going to paste this. Then we're going to go over here, copy our original chat, which was this one here, and then we are going to come over here, start a new chat, and then we are just going to paste this, and then let's see what we get, right? Let's see what we get here. It says, now with the more advanced prompt, now let's start with the lower advanced prompt. It said, I'll be honest with you first, losing 25 kilograms in 3 months is very aggressive. It will require 2 kilograms per week, which is near extreme territory and hard to sustain without muscle loss, burnout, or rebound weight gain. A healthier and still impressive target is 12 to 18 kilos in 3 months, with a trajectory that can continue towards 80 kilograms after. That said, we can design a structured plan that pushes progress hard but safely. Your plan to gym 3 times a week is good. We'll combine that. So it first of all starts to look at realistic options and says losing 25 kilograms in 3 months is very, very aggressive and it is not really sustainable for many people. But look at it's a core fat loss rules, non-negotiable 8 to 3 meals per day, protein at every meal, no sugary drinks, bread, rice, pasta, controlled portions, not banned, sleep 7 to 8 hours a day, 8 to 12,000 steps daily, and then gym is equals to strength plus cardio exercises. Then it produces a meal plan, a lunch, dinner, snacks, food to limit hard, daily schedule, daytime, gyms, and then we have all of this, right? Now, this is already a very, very good option in my opinion. It will definitely help you to lose weight and to gain muscle mass if that's what you're looking for with this prompt. But let's see what we get with our more improved prompt. It says, I'll treat this like a real coach, like a real coaching intake, and give you a structured but safe fat loss plan. Then it still repeats, losing 25 kilograms in 3 months is very aggressive. The medically safe rate is 0.7 to 1.5 kilograms per week. With strong consistency, you might reach 12 to 15 kilos. You might reach 15 to 20 kilograms in 3 months, then continue to 80 kilograms in a second phase. This protects muscle, hormones, and metabolism and gives you a body you can maintain. Will aim for fast but sustainable. So it kind of refines the objective first, and then before it goes down now into what we need to do. Estimated calorie and fat loss strategy. Since I don't have your height, age, I'll estimate based on typical stats from someone beyond 105 kilograms overweight and moderately active. So basically, it's giving me these assumptions, right, based on the persona which it has adopted. Now, estimated maintenance calorie, but you can definitely prompt it and give you the information. Say my weight is this, my age is this, my height is this, right? You see, estimated maintenance calorie. This is the amount of calories to eat per day. Fat loss target intake. We have this, and if you don't understand anything, you can always highlight it and then click on ask. You can always highlight it, click on ask ChatGPT, and then you just ask it to explain it to you so you can understand. You see, this creates a 7 to 1000 kilocalorie daily deficit, which supports 1.1 to 1.5 kilogram fat loss per week, muscle prevention, stable energy, less binge risk. Protein is key to to protect muscles. Daily macro target, and then protein 150 to 180 Gs. Carbs moderate, fat moderate, fiber high. No extreme starvation. You will eat real meals. Core eating principles: eat 3 meals plus one snack. Every meal includes protein, vegetables at least 2 meals. Drink water before meals. Avoid liquid calories. 80% whole foods and 20% flexible. Avoidable foods are prioritized, right? Weekly meal structure, then it breaks down and then it provides the meal and then it provides the snacks. This response is better because we did not get a weekly meal structure in this other response here. Did we? Oh, we did. But if you look at the weekly meal structure, it's not as in depth as this one. Look at this one. We have breakfast optional, option A, option B, option C. We come back here. We have breakfast. Choose one. It provides the options. In my opinion, this is better structure. And then we have example daily meal plan. Breakfast 8 a.m. 3 eggs, one slice whole bread, tomatoes, cucumber, tea or coffee, no sugar. This is very, very extreme. I mean, who eats like this? 3 eggs, let's say 3 boiled eggs, one slice whole bread, maybe a couple of tomatoes or cucumber, tea plus coffee. In my opinion, this is a very, very extreme breakfast. It's very, very extreme. Lunch: 450 kilograms of chicken, 1 cup of rice, 1 cup large salad, and yogurt. Okay, but that is to help you lose weight, since that's what our user wants, right? Grocery list, it provides a grocery list. Workout schedule, weekly structure. We have optional 3 days: Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, strength plus work, cardio, and then we have Friday strength. Optional options B: Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, right? 5 days. Strength training, focus on full body, squats, push-ups, all of this. Now this is a better um response in my opinion, and you can definitely prompt the AI chatbot to get deeper responses, to just dive down on this to get more information, or you can ask it to summarize everything if you want, right? But remember, our goal was to see how we can improve our prompt, right? So we write our prompt first and then we ask it to use the prompt framework to improve this prompt, for us, right? That's very, very good. Now, you must not use the prompt framework, but in my opinion, I've learned that using frameworks with AI agents is one of the best ways to get the best results you can have from them. Once you work with frameworks and you define your framework, it's one of the best ways you can have the best results when working with AI agents, whether it is ChatGPT, whether it is Gemini, whether it is whichever AI agents, right? So I would advise you to work with AI agents, develop frameworks, right? In one of our future lessons, we are going to look at how we can use AI agents to get the right framework for our use case. Maybe there's something which you use AI to do a lot. For example, let's say you are a teacher and use AI to develop your lessons, or let's say you are an entrepreneur and use AI to help you build your business, right? So there are prompts you can use AI to develop, which you can use there are frameworks rather you can use AI to develop, which you can use in your prompting, your prompting situations that are going to be suitable to you. We are going to look at generating those frameworks with AI definitely during one of these days. But with that, we have come to the end of our day 9 of our 14-day practical AI challenge. I hope this has been very, very insightful. I hope you've learned a lot. I hope you've gained some new skill today. So thank you for being with me in day 9. See you at day 10, right? Stay safe. Bye bye.